Hello, students. I welcome you all into a new lecture of this lecture series. In the last lecture, we have studied the topic that is environmental movements from the chapter number 7 or the unit 7. In today's lecture, we are going to study about environmental ethics. What is the role of Indian and other religions and cultures in environmental conservation? Along with that, the environmental communication and public awareness and case studies. For example, CNG vehicles in Delhi. So we'll begin with the environmental ethics or what are environmental ethics and what is the role of different religions or cultures in the environmental or environment conservation. Okay. So what is the environmental ethics first? The environmental ethics, as we know, we follow in every profession or while doing any work. There are certain ethics which we know that is a limit we draw for ourselves, that we should not exceed or we should not go beyond that. That means we are trying to maintain certain kind of a decorum or to particular rules just to maintain the security and the stability in particular area. Okay. So likewise, uh, the different cultures or different religions also, they have given certain ethics, okay, which we do follow, and that is regularly practices religiously. Because of that, the environmental or environment conservation can be done or it is possible very easily. So the next topic which we are going to see, that is role of Indian and other religions and cultures in environmental conservation. We all know that all religions and cultures have something to offer to conservation and environmental protection. As we are living in the India, we know the diverse country, that is so many religions are there and so many people are living with a different religion. They have different belief system, different cultures, but how these cultures, this belief system is helpful for the environmental conservation. Okay, that we are going to see in this topic. So, from each religion, several injunctions or exhaustions can be uh, brought forth to form a code for environmentally sustainable development. This imply and extensively demonstrate in the course of the various religions. Okay, so several injunctions and extortions can be brought forth to form a code of environmentally sustainable development. That means a very different, we can say, activities or the practices do we follow. Okay, that is we can consider in the form of code or the separate identity that is bring forth or the that brought front of sorry that will help to maintain the sustainable development. Okay. Now the first religion that we are going to see, it is environmental Hinduism. Okay. The scarcity of all life on this planet and elsewhere is clearly regrained in the Hinduism. The supreme God has absolute sovereignty over all creatures, including human. So that is a common belief in the Hinduism. So according to the Hindu scriptures, all lives have the same right to existence. So human beings have no dominion over other creatures. They are forbidden to exploit nature. Instead, they are advised to seek peace and live in harmony with nature. The Hindu religion demands with veneration, respect, obedience to maintain and protect the harmonious unity of God and nature. So that is the extract of the Hinduism or the principles of Hinduism. Okay? That the According to the Hinduism, human being is not the only one who is the supreme. Okay, beyond that there is a some power or the spiritual power or the supreme God is there who is governing all the human beings. So human beings don't have the right to exploit anyone for the nature or any animal. So the this demonstrated by a series of divine incarnation as enunciated by Dr. Karan Singh in the Assisi Declaration. Okay? So the incarnation that all we have studied, it is also resembles with the evolution. Okay? The evolution of life on this planet is symbolized by a series of divine incarnation, beginning with fish, that all we know, the Matsya Avatar, then amphibious form, then mammals, okay, that is the Kurma Avatar or the mammalians, okay, and that Varaha Avatar, that is the pig, okay, and then on into the human incarnation. Okay, so Narasimha Avatar. This view clearly holds that man did not spring fully formed to dominate the lesser life form, but rather evolved out of this form itself and is therefore integrally linked to whole creation. That means the human should not think that they have the ultimate power or should not think themselves as a god or the creator. But by studying all this incarnation, what you can observe how the life is evolved or what is the evolution on this has occurred on this planet. Okay, so the Hindu philosophy provides a solid foundation for the doctrine of ahimsa, that is non-violence, and this uh, presuppose the doctrines of karma and rebirth. The Hindu belief in the cycle of birth and rebirth, wherein person may come back as an animal or a bird, means that the Hindus give other species not only respect but also reverence. That all the Hindu philosophy believe that birth and rebirth, that the karma is associated with the soul and you have to pay back in the new birth, okay, or the rebirth. This rebirth may come in any form, maybe in the form of bird, maybe in the form of insect, maybe in the form of human beings again, maybe in the form of plants, anyone. And according to that, you have to pay your the remaining work on the planet. That is the philosophy of Hinduism. This provides a solid foundation for doctrine of ahimsa, non-violence or non-injury against animal and human beings alike. And Hindus have a deep faith in the doctrine, that is ahimsa, have compassion for other organism also, or for animal, plants, along with the same species, that is human beings also. Okay? That means, according to the Hindu philosophy, give each factor of the environment equal respect. The soul may return in different life forms, and with this belief, there is a profound opposition to the institutionalized killing of animals, birds, and fishes for human consumption. Okay? So, to have meat based or the non vegetarian diet, it is prohibited in the Hindu philosophy. Hinduism considers the nature as the body of God. Different birds and animals are associated with different gods and goddesses, and worship or the emphasizes is emphasis on their protection and preservation. Finally, Hindu religion provides a moral guideline for environmental preservation and conservation. Abuse and exploitation of nature is considered as unjust and sacrilegious, or we can say it is injustice for any other animal. That means we are considering soul, okay, and it is very bad for the nature, okay. So the body of the god, that the nature is considered as the body of the god. That means uh, if we if we see through the perspective, that is the person or anything, maybe plants or animal which is in front of you, is the body of god, then you will not kill them or you will not harm them. That is the main principle. And the abuse and the exploitation should be that is prohibited. Okay? And what is the way to protect them or just to see them as a god? Okay? That the different plants and different animals are associated with the god or goddesses. Okay? So some are the examples are there. Ashoka, it is as we know, the Gautam Buddha has enlightened, or they enlightened with their knowledge under the tree of Ashoka. Okay, so this Ashoka tree has a very important place in the Buddhism also and in the Hinduism also. Okay, according to the Hinduism, this Ashoka plant is considered as a deity, as a Indra. Okay, well, it is a representative of deity Indra. Then another one is fig. Okay, that is also considered as a representative, or the it is common belief that the plant has that gets a blessings uh, from the Vishnu and Rudra deity. Okay. Then Kadamba, it is Krishna, lotus, Lakshmi, as we all must have seen the picture during the Lakshmi Puja, that the Lakshmi is sitting on the lotus flower. Okay. Then mango, it is also called as the Lakshmi and Govardhan. Neem, it is Sitila and Manasa. These are the female deities. Then Pallas, that is Pallas, Brahma and Gandharva. Then people, it is Vishnu and Krishna. And Vata, that is Banyan, it is a Brahma, creator of the universe. So, if we see these plants from the perspective as the body as a god, the body of God, then you will not think about that killing, okay, or to see any commercial aspect from these plants. Indirectly or directly, what you will do, you will worship those plants just to get the blessings. Okay, and these blessings are nothing but the byproducts which you are getting from the plants. That is ecological balance. You are getting oxygen. The other species of organisms are also dependent on these plants. So indirectly, we are saving environment. Likewise, the animals are also associated with the god and goddesses. For example, ass, it is associated with the Sitila Devi. Bull, it is considered as a Shiva. Crocodile, Ganga. Deer, Vayu. Dog, it is Bhairava and Dattatreya. Eagle is Vishnu. Elephant, Indra, Ganesh. Lion, Durga. Monkey, Hanuman and Ram. Owl, it is Lakshmi. Peacock, Kartikeya, Saraswati. Rat, Ganesh. Serpent, Shiva. Swan, Saraswati. Wild goose, Brahma. So, likewise, the animals are also associated with the different god and goddesses. Now, what you can observe or what you can interpret from this, the association of god and animal, that means there is a interaction between the god, or we can say a soul, and animals. So there is a positive interaction between the god and any animal, or we can say the human beings and the animals. Okay, and it follows the principle that the body of god. So the body of god principle, it is helpful for the protection and the preservation of different animals and uh, plant species also. Okay, so and along with that, when you follow this principle, you will indirectly will follow this principle, that is ahimsa, non-violence. against any animal or human beings. Because if you see these things, that is animals and plants, from the perspective that this body is, or this soul is God, okay, then you will not go for the hinsa. You will always follow ahimsa. Now, what is environmental protection in Vedas? Okay. So, Vedic literature about 1500 BC clearly speaks that there is an integral balance in man, nature, and the God. Natural forces were considered to be the expression of the Lord Himself and are vulnerable entities. Vedas envisage a beautiful natural environment on earth and command on man not the pollute. Okay, so that means the Vedas, or the different books or the scriptures. Okay, that is in those books, or the, you can say, it is the interaction between man, nature, and God. Okay, it is descriptive, or they are expressed in a beautiful way. That means the previous generation, or we can say the older, we are the descendants, as we know. So our ancestors know what is a key factor, or how to maintain the ecological balance. So there are certain things which are illustrated, or they have written in the different Vedas or different scriptures book. Okay. So what it is in Rig Veda, as we know, these are the very famous books, or we can say the holy books. In Rig Veda, it is mentioned that the universe consists of five basic elements, namely earth, water, fire, uh, air, space. Okay, that all we know. The body is made up of, or there are five elements. Okay, so these five elements provide basis for the life in everything, and man is ordained to conserve them. Okay, or man is needed, or has to be, has to conserve them. The next one is Yajurveda, talks about uh, propitiation and the peace of all components of the earth. Same thing. Atharva Veda consider earth to be mother and the creation of her offspring. There is command not to degrade resources of Mother Earth. Water is considered to be the milk of the Mother Earth, which forests the growth of its offspring and make them pure in 100 ways. Rivers are the source of power for life, and water is a symbol of dignity. So that all the campaigns which we are running right now, save water, save earth, save soil, these are written in a beautiful way in the Atharva Ved, that look from the different perspective, that is look from the, as this is the God. Okay, so we have called earth as mother. So if you look from that perspective, you will not think to harm them again. So as the mother is, earth is considered as a mother, then the other things which are present on the earth, okay, this can be look as a, the water is considered as a pure, that is milk, or the other sources. So these things are mentioned in the Vedas. Then the next is, now if we see that the body is made up of five elements, that we have to maintain, or the piece of the component, or the propitiation and the piece of the components of the earth, and should not degrade the earth mother, or try to destroy this earth. That all things are related to conservation and protection of mother earth. Okay. The next one is, during Puranic period, that is 320 BC onwards, popular belief emerged that each tree had its own deity. Okay. People offered water and circled trees with the sacred threads in order to protect them. So Narsimha Purana personifies trees as a god himself. In Varaha Purana, advocates regular plantation as means as achieving heaven. Matsya Purana regards planting of a single tree is equivalent to leaving a progeny of 10 sons. And Vishnu Purana says the god is pleased with the person who does not harm or destroy other non-speaking creatures of animal. In Padma Purana, the Padma Purana mentions that those who sacrifice cattle are doomed to perdition. In Manusmriti, the cruelty towards animals is totally condemned. It is also mentioned optimum use of natural resources to maintain the balance in the ecosystem. So what we can understood from these all points is that have a compassion for even the animals or for the mother earth. Okay. So by these things or by these statements, if people follow these statements or this principle directly, we can see that the environment is getting protected and so many things will get conserved. Now, the environment and Jainism. So, Jainism places a great emphasis on the principle that one should reprise from the avoidable act that are harmful to oneself or other. That means ahimsa, that is non-violence, is the fundamental tenet of Jain way of life. The term that is clearly alive with the realism, common sense, personal worth, and responsibility. All we know that the Jainism still follows and they are following this uh, principles, that is ahimsa. For the Jains, environmental harmony through spirituality should be pursued by all. This can be done by adhering to three precepts, that is the right belief, right knowledge, and right conduct. These things are very important. Now, once you have a right belief, that means you're getting proper knowledge and you will act like that or you will act according to your knowledge. If someone is saying don't cut, you will get the proper belief that how plants are important for your life. That means you are getting proper knowledge. Okay, and you will not cut the trees. Now, when you're children and someone says throw the garbage on the road, okay, or you can cut trees by any time, or you can freely cut the trees. Okay, what you will do that you will start cutting the tree. That is your belief. Okay, you will not realize what are the effects or the impact of this cutting tree on the environment. That is a wrong knowledge, and you will act according to that, or you will take action according to that. So, right belief, right knowledge, and right to the right conduct, it is very important. So, everyone should be benevolent towards all living organisms, compassionate for the weak, tolerant for the insolent, and joyful at the virtuous. This is the Jain way of bringing environment friendly. Okay, that means have a compassion, or you can say the have a kindness towards all the living organism, compassionate for the weak, that show some sympathy to weak, tolerant for insolent, that means you can tolerate certain kind of activities at till limit, that means should not try to take agitative actions, and joyful at the virtuous. Okay, so you can spread happiness in the community. This is the way of bringing environment harmony. Okay? So the next, you can see the way of Jainism is the way of life. Live and let live, forgive and introspect, respect all living beings and respect the environment. Now the next uh, religion. It is a Christianity. So, environment and Christianity. The Christianity also says that harmonic triadic relationship exists between divine and humanity among human beings and nature, and the failure to maintain a harmony may alienate humanity from its creator and also from nature. So that is indirectly it is the same belief or uh, if we compare with the Jainism and the Hinduism. As the Lord said, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the first and the last, the beginning and the end. So, consequently, every part of creation has His divine hand in it. No human being has absolute right to destroy it. It is from the perspective that waits, or the these are the lines from their holy book. Okay, and that means the message that their representative or even the god which want to give to you is that human beings should not think they are the only supreme power or they have control all over the earth. So whatever they want they can do. That means they should not think that they kill anyone or they try to destroy anything. That's why it is said that no human being has absolute right to destroy it. Father Lanfranco Sereni, that is Minister General, Order Frias Minor Conventual Rome, said, all human effort in the world must therefore lead to be mutual enrichment of man and creatures. So Pope John Paul VI, in his message to United Nations Conference on Human Environment held at Stockholm, stated that the environment and resources are for everyone. They are inalienable property for everyone, and there does not exist over this universal prosperity, discriminatory sovereignty exempting from the responsibility towards humanity of day to day or day of today and tomorrow. Okay, so all things are for everyone. So human being should not think that it is their property. Okay, uh, in the 12th, this message of the Pope John 6 make it amply uh, clear that there is a close link between Christianity and environment, and the trust is so sustainable for sustainable development. This is the true spirit of Christianity to keep the environment in a perfect condition in a very much stressed. Okay? So the ultimate aim is the protection of environment. The next one is environment and the Sikhism, that is a new religion. The Guru Nanak, the founder of the Sikh religion, assigned divine attributes to nature. According to Sikhism, people should respect God's creation and know the eternal truth regarding their place in the universe. Okay? God's creation, that means the all the environment or the all the things which are present right now on the earth, okay, is God's creation, even human beings also, and everyone should respect that. Human race is the integral part of the nature and linked to the rest of my creation in the indissoluble bond. Okay, that means it is a link. Human race is linked with nature and other creations. Okay, and the bond is indissoluble or it is unbroken. The Guru Granth Sahib proclaims the glory of God in nature and the environment. The Sikh believe that the universe was created for the Almighty God. A balance between all the elements of nature is necessary for the continuation of the universe. Any disruption in balance brings distress and disasters. That all we know. The history of gurus contain many stories in their love and special relationship with the natural environment, with animals, birds, vegetation, earth, rivers, mountains, the sky. The Sikhism teaches that the natural environment and the survival of the life form are closely linked in the rhythm of nature. This is the history of gurus contains many stories of their love, special relationship with the natural environment, with animal, bird, vegetation, earth, rivers, mountains, and sky. So the ultimate teaching is have a harmonious relationship with all the biotic and abiotic factors which are present on the earth. Okay? So that is a great teaching which was given by the Guru Granth Sahib Ji, that plantation or the tree plantation. So uh, in the when they celebrate that the birth anniversary, okay, they the Sikhism or the Sikh people, okay, or the people who follow the Sikh religion, they do plantation, the tree plantation every year. So another thing is, or the another religion is environment and Islam. So in Islam, the Holy Quran and the divinely inspired words of Prophet Muhammad from the foundation and rules for the conservation of nature. The Quranic message is the one of unity, harmony, balance, and order. It stresses that nature's law must be observed and that defined limits should not be exceeded. Man was created so that he could not become a manifestation of divine attributes and serves as a mirror to reflect the image of God. The Holy Quran declares that everything is created from water. And we can take from the reference that life has originated from the water. Okay. So the message which is given by the Quran, it is the same that the nature's law must be observed, okay, and the man was created by the God. Okay, that means there must be a certain supreme power above the human being and mirror to reflect image of God. That means you should treat other person as the God and along that means you can respect that person and any creature. Okay? That indirectly you will not disrespect that person or any the living thing. Allah is considered to be the owner of land and mankind in the trustee or guarantee, whereas other living creatures are considered to be the beneficiaries. Allah is a unity, and His unity is reflected in the unity of mankind and nature. His trustees have been made responsible for maintaining the unity of His creations, the integrity of the earth, including flora and fauna, wildlife, and natural environment. Thus, the environment is not in the service of the present generation alone, rather, it is a gift of God to all ages past, present, and future. This message is found in Surah that is 229. So these are the lines, or we can say the statements which were written or they have mentioned in the Quran for the protection of the environment. So anything that causes pollution and deterioration of the environment considered as a fasad in Islam, or that is we can say a crime according to their holy book. Okay. The punishment for disrupting the delicate balance of nature is laid down in the Quran and in the saying of the Prophet. The basic essence of the punishment is accountability before God after death. So there is a punishment also. The next religion, it is Buddhism. Okay, so Buddhism is the religion full of love, understanding, compassion, committed to ideals of non-violence. Ideals of non-violence. The basic tenets of Buddhism are simplicity and ahimsa. Okay, so most of the religions, if you observe, they follow ahimsa. and they see the other creatures and other human being from the perspective of God. Okay, that is their principles. So principle of simplicity based on sustainability teaches that man should not overexploit natural resources. The principle of ahimsa or non-violence of not killing the animals shows love for fauna. The teaching of Buddhism have concentrated on the theory of karma and the theory of cause and effect. That means if you do anything, you will get punished. That is a law of karma. If you do good things, you will pay back by the good things. Same like if you do any bad thing or you harm someone, you will get payback with the same kind of activity. They demonstrate that unmindful neglect of these principles of right living may lead to chaos and thus the environmental crisis. Okay? In Buddhism, river, forest, mountains are highly respected and regarded as a bliss bestowers, and the Buddhism had great respect for the sun, moon, and other planets. Even in the Hinduism also, even in the Hinduism, they have they worship the people worship sun, moon, and other planets. Okay, in the Islam also, or they worship moon. Okay, uh, likewise in every religion. Okay, they are not only thinking from the perspective, or we can say thinking for the things which are present on the earth, but they are showing their gratitude or they are worshipping planets also. That means the universe. Buddha also set down rules forbidding the pollution of river, ponds, and wells in the Sutta Nipada. See? Know the grasses and trees, know the worms and the different sorts of ant, know also the four-footed animals, small and great, the serpent, the fish which range in the water, the birds that are borne along on wings and move through the air. That means just to observe these beautiful things which are present in the nature, show some gratitude and maintain that ecological balance. The Dalai Lama expressed this clearly in the following way. As Buddhist, I believe in the interdependence of all things, the interrelationship among the whole spectrum of plant and animal life, including elements of nature which express themselves as mountain, valleys, rivers, sky, and sunshine. That means to maintain the interrelationship or the interdependency with all these things. Hmm. So, in the picture, what you can observe, they are try to protect or they actually worship God, and for that, the worship is done or they practice their religion in the forest or very calm place. Okay, so that's why they try to live nearby the forest and save the trees. Now, what is environment and Indian culture? That Indian culture of the cultural heritage of India show a deep concern for the protection and preservation of the environment. Indian tradition considered the earth as mother. River is described as the Lokmata. India is the land of rivers, rites and rituals. Okay? So Indians have articulated the need to sustain and promote the ecological balance of nature through sacred incarnations and systematized 52 rituals for the substances of life on the earth. Since almost since almost all the major world religions are represented in the Indian soil, and the religions in turn realize the proximity of mankind and nature. They regulated conduct of mankind in a such a way conductive to nature. So the common practice or the rituals which we do follow in different religions, these are nothing but related, or there is an interrelationship between nature and human beings. And the outproduct, or the perspective behind this rituals or the practices is to maintain the ecological balance, to conserve the environment, and show some gratitude to the environment. Indian culture shows an ecological evolution to peace. Okay, so ecological evolution to peace. That's a beautiful line. That is, ecology is, as we know, ecos, that is house. Okay, so house means in our house there are different things are there, that is biotic and abiotic. So that means our relationship between biotic and abiotic, living and non-living things. Evolution, that is how different animals have developed on this planet, and our relationship has changed with different animals. And that is, even the different animals are coming, living in the our habitat or the nearby ecosystem, or nearby habitation. Maybe it is biotic or abiotic. That leads to a peace. Okay. So peace to all elements of nature and mankind, and harmony between them. And if these things are there, then only we are able to live with the nature. Okay. Indian applies the culture lesson at two levels. The first at the level of relationship between society and nature, and the second between people with the society. The Indian society was eco-culturally socialized. Okay. So renewability and sustainability were the second lesson. It is the based on recognition that sustenance comes from the forest, not from the man-made cities, from the fields, not the factories, and that all we are realizing day by day. Thus, environmentalist is a part and parcel of Indian culture. So every person is environmentalist, and they follow the environmentalism. Okay? That even in the morning you are showing gratitude to sun. Okay, indirectly you're respecting that thing. You're giving water to plant. Maybe any the holy plant you consider, anyone. That means you are conserving environment. Likewise, this different cultures or different religions are helpful for the environment protection. So India has an ancient tradition of protecting the environment. Most ancient text teaches us that is the dharma of each individual in society to protect nature. This is the way people have always worshipped the object of nature. So trees, water, land, animal have an important mention in our ancient text. In Hinduism, we find that Vedas, Upanishads, and other ancient scriptures of Hindu religion have given a great importance to trees, plants, wildlife, and also to their values to human beings. In a pursuit of Hindu religion, scriptures called the Veda, Upanishads, Smritis, Puranas, Ramayana, Mahabharata, Gita, mythological literature including stories, social, moral codes, and political rules reveal that the following were the general guideline principles to be observed by all in their daily life. Then, in ancient times, we developed mechanism regarding the protection of environment was established in our culture. So, by even the small stories, that is, the incidents were recorded, and these are, we can say, the moral stories for us. Okay, and by them we can learn some morals or some values. Human conduct was mended according to the protection of the environment. Our ancient legal codes, such as Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, etc., protected the environment. We are required to adopt our ancient environmental protection system. Okay? So, that is the biggest contribution from our ancestor or the our scriptures. or the holy books, or the we can say the base of our religion or the dharma in our life. Okay. The next topic which we are going to cover is environmental communication and public awareness. So, what is the environmental communication and uh, the public awareness? Why or what is the need of this topic should be in your syllabus? Okay. Communication, as we know, that someone is giving a message and another one is receiving, and by interchanging a dialogue, we are communicating. Okay. The what is environmental communication? It is from the environmental perspective, okay, and the public awareness. But what is the need of these things in your syllabus? Okay, why this topic is there? Because as we are able to communicate from for different points, maybe you like some movie and you are having communication, okay, with your friends, and uh, you are taking you are doing some kind of fun out of it. Okay, these are the things, okay, by your communicating. But if there is thing that the any river is getting polluted, okay, then what about that? You are not going to communicate, you are not going to talk about these things. That's why environmental communication plays an important role for the awareness. Now, what is a public awareness? Awareness, as we know, that certain or the any people who knows about that. Okay? Now, why it is important? Public awareness. Because the same example will take, that is, any river is polluted. Okay, and you want to save, or at least you want to reduce the pollution in that particular area. Not every person is not aware, or they don't have that perspective to look from or the look from the environmental perspective, just to save that water body. Okay? They know that all, like all the common people or like environmentalists, they also know that the water body is polluted. But what to do not to not pollute that water body, or how to save that polluted water body, it is not uh, not aware, or that these people are not aware about that. That's why public awareness is very much important. So environmental communication and public awareness, these are the most two important things in your syllabus that you can do as a uh, the student of the environmental studies. Okay? So uh, what you can do in environmental communication, that is first set an objectives. Okay? That is which point or which issue you want to address. That is about the save trees, or to save animals, to save any even the pet animals, or take any pollution kind of issue. There are many or many rays are hazardous rays are coming from any machine, any factory or the industry is polluting water body or the air. These kind of things you can take in consideration. You can set objective. Then for the communication and public awareness, you will select place, maybe school, colleges, or maybe on the road, okay, or any symposium or any academy. You can take on live lectures also. So that means social media. This kind of things on the stage you can use. But the thing is, where you can actually you can conduct this communication, or to try to communicate people where actual problem is there. Okay? So that means by taking audience in a consideration, you will select your place. Then what about audience? Okay. The audience should be actually it is should be diverse, but while uh, giving dialogue or while communicating or spreading awareness, you should know that what age group is there or what type of audience is there, whether it is a graduated people who has already studied the environmental studies, or it is the school children, okay? Or maybe old age group people. This kind of things uh, should be taken into consideration. Then the language should be the important factor, that everyone should understood or understand that what the person who is communicating or what the person is trying to convey. Then you can select mediums and channels, maybe the social media, news, blogs, videos, or are you podcasting something? This kind of things you can study or you can follow and have environmental communication, okay, for public awareness. Now, public awareness, it is an important factor for the environmental studies, okay, because after public awareness or when people become aware about any particular issue, okay, then only they can take any kind of action. For example, the Narmada Bachao Andolan, the environmentalists started or they have taken an initiative. Then they aware the other people for the movement or the for the cause or the purpose. And then other people or the local people have joined that movement. Okay? For example, Silent Valley, okay, which is in the Kerala, that the environmentalists started the talking about that or having communication, then local people joined. After that, they got to know what is the importance to save this silent valley. And then after, local people joined in a multiple number and they save that silent valley. That is a great impact of the environmental communication and public awareness. Okay. Now, what is the environmental communication in politics, government, and advocacy? In recent years, environmental preservation and concern about the resources depletion have grown in forefront political and social issue for countries across the world. Environmental communication has become central in political legislation campaigns and government and non-profit advocacy. So, as we know that environmental communication, it is not only done at the school level or the with the local people. Okay, it is nowadays it has become a central part of politics, government, advocacy. Now, how that as we know, the World Bank is giving funds. There are different meetings, or we can say different legislations are there. Okay, or there different uh, we can say engagements or campaigns which are done or the run by the government, and for that the national or the international bodies are giving fundings. Okay, in that government is involved, because nowadays what is your environmental growth is also taken as a and taken as a the point or the we can say the key factor about the growth of nation. That you should not only run behind the GDP and you are harming the environment. Okay, how you are maintaining the environmental conditions, what is the ecological balance, along with that or hand in hand, how you are progressing. That is also the world is seeking or they have keen observation on these things. Okay, as politicians debate topics such as climate change, oil drilling, water safety, and waste management, government departments such as United States of Environmental Protection Agency and the National Park Service use environmental communication every day to develop. implement, promote regulations and initiatives to protect environment. Okay. So these agencies, NGOs, and even the different banks, okay, who are giving funding, all these are uh, looking for the environmental protection. So closely linked to the government, there are many social interest groups that advocate for environmental causes, impact legislation that protects the wildlife, and mobilize the public to vote for environmentally friendly laws. Okay. So why this government and advocacy is important for the communication? That, as we know, if there is a issue, that government is the body which can put forward or forward our demands. Okay. Now suppose there is uh, an area where the so many medicinal plants or the rare plants are there, and in that area anyone wants to build any institution or the organization, even the industries. In that case, if the advocacy is there, or the people group of people who can give better advice to the government, we can restrict that, or we can disallow about the construction of these things in a particular area who is enriched with medicinal plants. Okay. For that, the advocacy or the organization which who is advising government is an important. For example, both non-profit organizations that are subsidiaries of government department, such as National Park Foundation, and independent non-profit organizations such as Syria Club, Environmental Defense Fund, Conservation International, the Rainforest Alliance, the World Wide Funds for the nature utilize environmental communication in its various forms to reach various audience members. So this advocacy or the group, now the people who are giving advice, okay, are important, because these are communicating with different levels of the society. These are communicating with the government. These are communicating with the different organizations. These are communicating with the local people. Like, these are the giving advice to different levels, or the communicating to a different levels of the people. And that's why it is important to take into consideration for the uh, environmental communication. So the next is a case study. The case study is CNG use in Delhi. So as we know, that is the city who is totally, or the transportation is done totally with the help of CNG. No, they are not using any kind of the gasoline or the diesel. Okay. In this work, a meticulous analysis of efficiency of CNG as a transportation fuel in the capital city of Delhi has been made. Okay, so that is this one is the data from the research paper. That's why I've stated that in this work. Okay, the deteriorating ambient air quality due to ever increasing vermicular emission is the major reason for the rating capital city of Delhi as the world's fourth most populated city. As we know that the in every winter the city is already, although the city is polluted, and in the winter season the pollution which is present in the environment and the fog is getting mixed. Okay, so they are forming smog, and that is very dangerous for the respiratory system. Just to prevent that, the Supreme Court of India concerned over the deteriorating air quality of Delhi, mainly from vehicular sources, in a landmark judgment on 20th July 1998, directed that all the public transport vehicles in Delhi to run only on CNG after 31st March 2001. Since then, efforts have been made to make Delhi out of this most populated label. Okay. So each and every vehicle is running on the CNG. Okay, at least the public transport. So what are the advantages of CNG? It is found to be the one of the most environment friendly fuel, as CNG powered vehicles emit 85% less nitrous nitrous oxides, 70% less hydrocarbons, 74% less carbon monoxide that is than similar gasoline powered vehicles. Okay. The use of CNG fuel vehicles significantly reduces emission of ozone precursor, while gasoline powered vehicles produce nitrogen oxides that when combined with volatile organic component, that is VOCs, which are produced by trees naturally, will react with sunlight in the lower atmosphere of O3, that is ozone, a primary constituent of smog. And as we know, that is a dangerous and harmful thing of the uh, which is formed by the pollutant and the fog. Okay. What are some other advantages? That is lesser running cost. Okay, that is economically beneficial. Very easy on engine, giving longer service, lower maintenance costs, reduced demands of finite petroleum supply, because as we know, that is a non-renewable energy source. Production of carbon monoxide emission lower by 90%. Drastic reduction in relative hydrocarbon emission, that is over 80 to 93%, improves fuel consumption and engine efficiency. Dry gaseous fuel does not dilute to the lubricating oil, thus saving oil filters and oil charges. Reduce maintenance costs, reduction in noise level. This can be even we can observe that the electric vehicles also, they are not producing any kind of noise. And reduction in air toxic emission, that is was the main perspective, that they wanted to remove that label of the most polluted city. Okay. So that is a case of the case study of CNG use in Delhi. So all points are covered.